What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the newest generation BMW M4 Competition. Big shout out and thank you to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this M4 Comp for today's video. Definitely check out the link to their website linked below. And the model that we're looking at today is finished off in Dravid Grade Metallic and has an MSRP at $88,000. Underneath the hood of this BMW M4 Competition, you're going to find a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin turbocharged engine. It pumps out 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. The engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and sends the power to the rear wheels. With a curb weight around 4,800 pounds, you can expect 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and top out at 180 miles per hour. The M4 runs on a 15.6 gallon fuel tank, so you're looking at 16 miles per gallon in the city with 23 out on the highway. Overall length is 189.1 inches with a wheelbase at 112.5. Height is 54.8 and width is 74.3 inches. The M4 also has massive 6-piston brake calipers up front with a 15-inch rotor, and then you get floating calipers in back with a 14.5-inch rotor. And then now moving on to the exterior design with the new generation BMW M4. You can first and foremost see this massive new kidney-shaped grille. I love the design and how it spans all the way from the top down to the lower portion of the bumper. We get gloss black mesh all within it, and you can also see some parking sensors and of course the M4 Competition badge. We get a forward-facing camera and the BMW logo, and a really nice design for these intakes. We also do get LED headlights that feature DRLs on the lower side. They're nicely sunken into the bodywork. Then there's more parking sensors on the farthest side. You can see a cutout in the bumper to allow air to pass through, and then a nice gloss black trim piece on the farthest side. We get a really large body color chin spoiler, and I think the front end of this new generation M4 really comes together to be much more aggressive than before. I also love how the grills lead their way right into the hood with these super sharp lines fading away towards the windshield. Everything comes together really nicely to give it that performance looking front end appearance. Moving to the side, you can also see another parking sensor and then a really nice set of wheels. They're 19 inches in diameter with a multi-spoke and a two-tone color. They're very concave and they contrast nicely with the gloss red Brembo brake caliper. Then you can see a sharp body line going around the front fender, then the M4 Competition badge on the side as well. There's all gloss black in the lower portion of the side skirt, and then a very sharp line through the center, and a nice sharp line in the back. The M4 has body colored door handles, and then gloss black for the mirror caps with an integrated turn signal as well as a side view camera. You can see gloss black trim all around these windows, and then I love the carbon fiber panel for the entire roof. Beautiful design. You have sharp fins right in the center. And then if we take a look at the side profile, I think the M4 comes together really well with a great proportion. You can see how the rear end slopes downwards into the trunk to give it that performance looking vibe. And then the rear fenders are pretty wide as well to really add some width to the rear end. You can see a gloss black spoiler mounted on the trunk lid, and I just love how this paintwork glistens in the sun with a gold flake. We get LED taillights as well that protrude outwards to give it a wider look. You get the M4 badge on the right with BMW in the center as well as a camera, then a really nice sharp design all throughout the trunk lid. Moving down low, we get a massive rear diffuser finished off in gloss black. You can see the quad exhaust system with black tips, all of your parking sensors, and a very sharp design to bring it all together. So there's a good look at the exterior with the newest generation BMW M4. Say what you want about this generation. I love this design along with the new M3. I think the front end stands out. Why drive something boring when you can have something that really looks super razor sharp and a little bit different? These things are really sweet cars. We have BMW's key fob, pretty basic as you would expect, lock and unlock button. But with that said, we have a special treat on the interior. I grab the door handle, it'll automatically unlock. But now we can check out this insane colored interior. This particular spec M4 Competition has a very wild bright blue leather interior. You can see it contrasting against the black along with some lime green accents. If we take a look at the door panel now, finished off in black and blue, you can see the smooth black leather and then the nice blue with contrast lime green stitching. We have a pretty good armrest with some padding, your grab handle as well with more stitching, window controls, mirror controls, as well as memory seating, and then lock and unlock with your release handle. There is some ambient lighting, storage down below, and the trunk release. And then we get M4 Competition on the aluminum door sill and all of your power controls for the seats. You can see all the different buttons, really nice looking with that blue color, and the stitching just looks fantastic. We do have a manual leg rest that'll protrude forwards, and then really nice perforations all throughout the leather. You can see how the bolsters look in the lower side. You get some black running up through the seats, and then that really cool lime green, kind of yellow color for this Alcantara. Beautiful design, and they really stand out, and yet they look super awesome. We get a black leather steering wheel full of carbon fiber, and then the M color stitching. And then now inside the M4 Competition, we can go ahead and press the button and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, this is one massive LCD screen. You can see your speedometer and fuel to the left with your tach as well as engine temperature on the right side. The navigation screen will come up in the center, and then you can also tap where it says BC on this left icon, and you can scroll through the right screen to see just a few different things of information that will pop up throughout the car. There's also a very cool mode. If you scroll down here and tap the My Mode icon, it'll configure the gauge cluster to a very cool vertical design for the tach. You can see the gear in the center. You can also get G meter on the left side, and then continue scrolling through a few different items. Taking a look at the steering wheel now, we get the BMW logo in the center with some leather and stitching. All of your cruise control settings are on the left side. Heated steering wheel button is in the center, and then some Bluetooth and audio controls. We do get carbon fiber paddle shifters. They have a really nice look and feel. They're rather large as well. Then you have your M1 and M2 button. These are configurable drive mode buttons you can tap, and you can see how it automatically put this all the way up into the performance modes. You can configure this however you'd like it, which is a fantastic touch. We have the turn signal stalk on the left side along with your automatic high beams, and then to the right we get all of your windshield wiper controls. On the left of the steering wheel now we have all of your headlight controls, interior dimming, more of the blue leather, ambient lighting, and then one of your air vents. This does feature heads-up display. You can see it right in the center, and also when you tap the My Mode icon, it'll give you a really large tachometer. And then taking a look at the rest of the dashboard, finished off in a really nice black leather, and then we get carbon fiber, some aluminum trim, and then more blue on the lower side. And then moving towards the center infotainment screen, pretty typical as to what you would see on every BMW. You have your home screen, you have media as well. You can configure your communication settings, you have your navigation, pretty snappy as well, the way everything is designed. And again, very familiar with BMW. We also have a few more things in this car area. Vehicle settings, you can see some things in there. Tap in this, we have your M menu as well. You can configure your M1 and M2. And then you can scroll up into driver information and go to your sport displays. Really good view of quite a lot of information. Then if I go ahead and put this into reverse, you can see the backup camera pop up on the left with your top down on the right, and you can even toggle these different views to get a pretty good look around your car. We do get a 360 camera view, and the car itself is actually finished in the same color that you've ordered your M4 in. So a really cool design, the way everything is laid out. And then if I go ahead and grab the lever back into the neutral, and we can tap that into park. Underneath the screen, we have your hazards as well as a safety setting. You can see it pop up with intelligent safety. You can configure everything for lane departure, forward collision, and a few other items. And then underneath that, we have all of your climate controls. You get an LCD screen, dual zone temperature, your different zones. You have your automatic, defrost, heated seats, and then a few more over on the right. If you tap menu AC, it pops up to where you can synchronize the air and change a few more items. And then underneath that, we have some radio controls, and then more really nice glossy carbon fiber throughout the center. We can tap this and open it up. We have wireless phone charging, 2 cup holders, a 12 volt and a USB port. And then behind that, we have your shifter with the M logo. You have a button on the back where you can adjust how quickly you'd like your transmission to shift. We have traction control, shortcut to hazards and parking sensors. Then we have different drive mode setups. We have your exhaust valve you can open and close. You can easily hear, as you've already heard, the setup menu to adjust more things, then electronic park and brake. We also have a rotary dial on this far right side with all these shortcuts to configure the screen. So I can easily control what I'd like to see. I can go back, I can have the menu button and see all sorts of different things in here. So I like how you have the touchscreen, or you can just use the controls down below. We have more of the blue with the lime green stitching, And then opening that up, we have a pretty good amount of storage space. Taking a look at the glove box now, pretty much as you would expect, a nice size bucket. And then one last look at the M4's interior. Very traditional for BMW, nothing too crazy fancy. However, this particular spec, the color combinations are fantastic. It really does look good in person. I think it comes together nicely to give this a rather unique design. Up top, you can see LED dome lights and then your mirror. The M4 also has back seats. If I grab this handle and pull this forward, the seat's gonna get out of the way and automatically slide forward as well. You can see the rear seats have all the same color combinations back here. Really cool design, and we do even get some amenities like climate controls as well as USBs. So then sitting in the back seat of the M4, so at 5'11", it's actually not that bad back here. My head just barely touches the roof, and then if I just pull the seat back, it's gonna automatically slide back into the position it was left in. This is actually a pretty usable two-doored car, and I like how they give you good sized back seats. You have a nice armrest on the left along with a speaker, pretty large window as well, and just a pretty good view around. You can even grab this center seat if I pull this, and you can see how we have a nice area that you could use as an armrest and even access into the trunk. Now this is just a two-seater back here, so it's a four-seater car, but nonetheless pretty roomy. And then I can pull that handle and get this out of the way. And then onto the cargo area, I can just tap the button on the key fob. There is one on the trunk and of course on the interior, but the M4 has a pretty large trunk. It's nice and squared off with a lower load floor to fit larger items. We have a cubby area on the left side, same with the right. You can see just how high the ceiling is. We do have manual handles you can pull to get these seats down. And with them out of the way, you can see just how much more storage space you get in the M4. Coming through the door, those seats do fold down nearly flat. As you can see, we have a pretty large opening into the trunk to make this an extremely practical performance car. All right, so we are heading out now. In the M4 competition, I am a big fan of these cars. They are so incredibly powerful. Especially with that X-Drive all-wheel drive and the twin turbo inline six. These things just move. I've had one of these for a whole week, got to play with. Launch control's fun. In the mountains, they are fun. These are one of the best cars out there. And right now, we are in everything in the most performance-oriented mode. The suspension is tight, steering is tight, the brakes will rip your face off. It is just such a blast. And it sounds really good. Gosh, those brakes are also just insane. But with the exhaust valve open, it sounds so incredibly good. There's such a beefy tone to the motor. You get a few little gurgles and things like that. It just sounds like pure power when you're on this car ripping on it a little bit. Gosh, these things are just amazing. I freaking love these M4s. They're so cool. But with that, like any car like this, you can just then, we'll hit the My mode, go back to normal screen. Everything is in the Sport Plus. Tapping M1, we will go back into the conservative drive mode, and we are back into normal drive now. And the car tones down. You know, it still is a little bit of a hardcore car. You know, an M440 is gonna be a lot more toned down in comfort mode. But even with this car in comfort mode, you know, extending my leg rest, air conditioning on, this is a perfect daily. You can genuinely just drive this whenever you want, use it for every single thing. It's comfortable in here, really good visibility. You know, you got that heads-up display, mirrors all do a great job. Over your left and right shoulder, there's really no blind spots. I love just how large those back windows are. It makes it to where you can just see around 360 view in this. All the technology, of course, just super simple to use. It's just a really, really well-rounded car with the technology, lane keeping, all that sort of technology that you're gonna want for safety features and just ease of drivability. The M4 has it. In comfort mode, the steering is nice and lightweight. It's just an easy car to drive. But at the same time, I love how you can just drive this like a normal luxury BMW, tap one button, we are now into sport everything, hit the gas, and you can hit whatever speeds you would desire in this car because it just is so responsive. The transmission is also super snappy when you're in the performance modes, just going back and forth. It is so responsive of a car. I genuinely really don't have many complaints just because it's such a good, well-rounded car. It's comfortable in here. You can opt for the carbon fiber bucket seats. These ones are actually pretty nice. They're super soft and comfortable, and yet they're still supportive, giving you that lateral grip that you want when you're going side to side. All right, so my perspective of what it's like driving. Like I said, I love these cars. The power delivery is so smooth. I love just how much power you get out of these too. 500 something horsepower, and it's so responsive, especially once you're up, you know, closer to 4,000. It just pulls. These cars are really, really fast. Oh, man, I don't really have any complaints. I know some people, they hate the front end. I think it looks awesome because at the same time, you know, for years people always complain that BMWs never change. They always look the same. So now that BMW has something drastically different, people of course don't like that either. So I just like anything new and cool. I think it's fun to have a car that looks different. And I think this front end comes together. It looks so good on the outside. And the interior, while it is a little normal feeling, just your typical BMW, when you drive the M4 Comp, you just forget about any little nitpicky things you may not like, because you're behind the wheel of something that is so fast, so fun to drive, and yet so practical and usable. This is just one of the best daily drivers. I love every aspect of it, and I like how you can still tone it down. You know, if I get out of the cool M mode screen, toggle it down into just normal everything, automatic, you know, it's a pretty comfortable, normal, luxurious car. So I think that's a really good blend to where you just get the best of both worlds without compromising, without sacrificing anything. And I don't know, I'm kind of one of the fanboys now of these cars ever since I've been able to drive them more and more, especially when we had one of these for a week. It just changed my perspective so much with how good these M cars really can be. And the fact that you can just use it like a normal car. You don't have to rip on it driving it in M mode. You can just drive it like normal, and it'll treat you like that. It'll just treat you like a normal BMW with all the technology. And they're just so much fun. They're such fun cars, and I love how you got the M3 option as well if you need a little bit more practicality for those back seats, having full-size doors in the back. But the BMW M4 Competition, they just, I think, hit a new level with this to where this is a benchmark car. There's not many cars that honestly are better than this for the price tag. This is a sub $100,000 car that smokes a lot of cars in the performance, and certainly smokes a lot of those same performance cars in the practicality. You can genuinely use this all the time. It doesn't matter what circumstance you throw this thing's way, it will conquer everything. And I like how even when you're in comfort mode, the most efficient driving modes and things like that, you can still step on it, you still have all the power, you can still play with the car. It doesn't really matter what drive mode you're in the car, you can just give it some gas, quarter throttle in it, and you are way ahead of any other cars out in traffic. Just one of those good cars, it really is. And honestly, an M3 is something that is kind of on my list at some point to buy when I need practicality. I think these just have so much to offer. But that is then it for the newest gen BMW M4 Competition. Just such a good all-around performance car where you can use it every single day. Big shout out and thank you to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this pre-owned M4 for today's video. Definitely take a look at their website linked below. They have a huge selection of really nice, nearly brand new cars that were traded in, along with brand new Lexus vehicles, so definitely check them out. Well, that is it, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.